The National Labor Relations Board drops its case against Boeing. Has the government come to its senses? I'm Alan Barton. Stand by for Front Page. Joining me in studio, Yaron Brook, president of the Ayn Rand Center for Individual Rights, and Terry Jones, associate editor for Investors Business Daily. All right, guys, the NLRB dropped its case against Boeing, in which it accused the company of violating labor laws by moving its manufacturing from Washington State to nasty little South Carolina. This is what White House Press Secretary Jay Carney had to say.
The President thinks labor and management should find ways to work together to preserve and create jobs, and he is, glad they have reached a resolution here, but this was not something the President was involved in.
The President was involved in this, Terry. Not at all. Well, give us the one-on-one in terms of the facts on why the NLRB dropped their suit.
Yeah, this is one of the most cynical manipulations of a private company, and well, in the last 2 years, I'd say.
not since GM have we seen.
June,
not since 2009 have we seen such outrageous.
Yeah, I mean, basically, they were strong-arming Boeing here. I mean, Boeing was going to, as you said, they were going to build a $750 million plant in South Carolina and wanted to desperately because it's a right-to-work state. There are no unions if the workers don't want them. And the NLRB filed an action against them, and lo and behold, a week ago, the Machinists Union in Washington came to an agreement with Boeing.
That's shocking.
Yeah, shocking.
It's a weird, just sort of weird symmetry there, like how that happened. Right.
Stunning that it would include significant raises for them and what even the New York Times called unusual job security guarantees. So, this whole thing was obviously that it was a government agency that had, basically police enforcement powers being used by a union to strong-arm an American company. It's a disgrace.
You're saying it like it's a bad thing. Yaron, what's going on here? What do you think?
Well, I mean, let's start with the fact that this national labor, whatever, shouldn't even exist. I mean, government shouldn't be involved in the relationship between employees.
Of labor relations?
Yeah, I mean, that is for employees and management to settle and deal with. And all this entity can do is, in one form or another, strong-arm businesses for the sake of labor, because that's what they were instituted to do. They were instituted because the perception is business is strong and evil and powerful, and labor is good and very weak, and they can't really negotiate their own deals. And they need government help to do it, and this entity is there to help labor.
The NLRB has never been this strong before, right, Terry? They've never taken action to block a location of a factory. I mean, this was sort of a kind of a stunning,
outrageous,
stunning use of sort of thugocratic powers.
It is, because this was an internal company decision. And the NLRB has no power under our Constitution to be able to interfere or intervene in a company decision that does not really directly bear on a current contract.
I mean, I'm glad they're opening their factory, but it would have been interesting for them just to simply challenge the ruling in the courts and take it all the way on up and see how powerful the NLRB thinks it can be.
I think the whole entity is probably unconstitutional, put aside this particular case.
All right, well, critics are happy the case has been dropped, but they're still pursuing action against the NLRB. Senator Lindsey Graham said he would continue to place an indefinite hold on Obama's nomination to the board, and Congressman Darrell Issa stated the investigation into the NLRB would continue. Terry, what would the effect be here in terms of blocking board members? They're losing a board member next month because they need a quorum, right? If they don't have a certain quorum, they can't do anything.
Normally the NLRB has 5 members on their board, and right now they're missing 2. They only have 3, and one of the 3 leaves next month. So they will lack a quorum. And so the Republicans in Congress have said, fine, we will not approve a third. You will not have a quorum. You will not be able to do anything. So in essence, they're threatening to cripple the NLRB. And I say, great, do it.
You're on the Labor Board's acting general counsel. Leif Solomon was happy to see the case withdrawn. Yes, because he said, you see, we're misunderstanding the NLRB guys. Here's the quote. He said, the case was always about the loss of future jobs in the Seattle area. And this agreement has resolved that issue. There is job security in the Washington area. This case was never about the union or the NLRB telling Boeing where it could put its plants. This was a question for us of retaliation, and that remains the law. So, guys, there you go. Why are you being such a cynic?
It's unbelievable. So, what Boeing's doing is creating jobs in South Carolina. Why is the NLRB favoring Seattle over South Carolina? The only reason is, the only logical reason is because in Seattle they're unionized and in South Carolina they're not. So this is so ridiculous on its face. This is such a piece of fascist thuggery. And it's consistent with this administration. I mean, Terry brought up, one of you brought up the auto industry, right? I mean, this is just a continuation of the Obama administration's attempt to micromanage the way American business is run, particularly big business, it's their attempt to justify this is so ludicrous that anybody should be able to see right through it.
Terry, 30 seconds. Any last thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, again, just to repeat, I mean, this is an unwarranted intrusion into business decision making. If you want to look at the reasons why businesses are not creating jobs these days, you can look no further than Boeing. Boeing. People look at this and they say, well, this is not an environment to create wealth in.
Right. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. For Yaron and Terry, I'm Alan Barton. You've been watching Front Page.